Do you ever feel that you're not fulfilled sexually? Or do you feel that you are somehow repressed or suppressing certain aspects of your sexual being? Today, I want to talk to you about overcoming your sexual blocks and eliminating negative belief systems out of your body. Hi, my name is Tamarah. Welcome to my Bliss Oasis, where I help you deeply love yourself so you can have amazing relationships and go out there and transform the world. So how can you overcome sexual blocks? How can you get deeper sexual fulfillment? Well, let me tell you, we need to start looking deep inside of us and stop looking so much outside of us for someone else to fix the problem, but start to actually tend to our own inner space. I want to use a metaphor of a plant so that I can help you understand this concept of why it's so important to go in and start to give healing and attention to your own sex center. Just like plants have a root system, they have deep roots in the earth, they grow up through the stem, and they have a flower on top. So we're just going to imagine that it's similar to your body. You have your base of your body, your root system from your pelvis downwards. You have your stem, the core of your body, and you have your flower, your head on top. So in order to have a more beautiful flower, you're not going to go cut off the flower of a plant. Okay, let's just talk about a plant for a moment. You're not going to cut off the head of a rose to have more beautiful flowers and like, oh, okay, now maybe it will grow a nicer flower, right? You need to go to the root system and give it nourishment to the earth, to what I would call the yin, the inner space, the darker space, so that you can then blossom up into your radiance. Have you ever heard of the lotus flower comes out from the murky mud? That same idea. So we're going to go down into the mud, into the basement. In the Vagina Monologues, there's this story about this one woman calling it the basement down there. So let's talk a bit about your sex center. Your vagina, your cervix, your uterus, your ovaries, all of these parts are an organ in your body that whenever something comes along in your life where it disapproves of who you are as a person, as a woman or as a man, on any level around not being good enough, not being worthy enough, not feeling like you can express yourself fully, you're going to start harboring these repressed and suppressed emotions and actions in your, most likely in your sex center. It can go also lodge in other places in the body, but it's going to definitely be in your roots. It's going to definitely be in your vagina, in your pelvic floor, between your hips, inside of your sacrum, or around your tailbone. Let's go back to the beginning for a moment. I want you to picture this. You came out of the womb space. Some of us passed through the cervix, and some of us were delivered by cesarean and just came straight out of the womb. But you came out a pristine, pure, innocent being, totally comfortable in your body, totally confident in your abilities and in your expression. Over time, you wanted to start exploring your body. And, you know, this is interesting because I have a 1.5-year-old right now, and I can watch her and see how free she is to express herself, how she splays her legs open all the time and whenever she wants. We don't do that as adults anymore. Well, except for some of us. So at some point, you would have wanted to express yourself in a way that was not acceptable to your family or to the society around you. Now, of course, we all have to learn the rules of society, and, you know, if we were all masturbating in public, that would probably be very distracting. But there is way too much suppression around sexuality and around expression, and everyone has their unique family systems, takes on how and what is acceptable and not. So you were told something or you were not told something. So it was either a verbal message that you received or messages, or nonverbal. It could have been a taboo. Sort of no one talks about sex, no one kisses or touches in the house. It could have been that, or it could have been, don't touch yourself. Shut up, don't do that. Oh, don't be too much of a show off. Or perhaps even, and this is a process over time and time and time again. So you would have heard certain things when you were really little, and then age X, up until you were a teenager. And if you are a woman, you may have also heard things like, if you go out there and you better not get pregnant. You better not get pregnant, or you better not get pregnant, otherwise we will disown you, or some kind of something along the lines of sex. If you have sex, you're probably a slut, or if you have sex, we won't love you anymore. Therefore, if you have sex, you're bad, and sex is bad. There's just layers upon layers in a different way that you would have received it, and you would have harbored this in your body in some way. We all have. And this can even go into, later on, if in your first relationships, maybe you got triggered by certain things, and these things got wounded and even more pushed in. And so we have lots of potential trauma and stuck emotion and stuck energy at the base of our spine, in and around the sex center. So I want to welcome you on what I hope for you is the start of a journey back home, a journey back into your vagina and into your cervix. I want to talk a little bit about the cervix. Let's say that's your vagina, and the cervix is the very tip, the very end. It's the doorway between the vagina and the uterus. Okay? So because it's a doorway, it's the threshold between your inner space and the outer space. So at that doorway, because it's a door, if you received negative messages around your expression and around your sexuality, and don't ask for what you want, and desire is bad, or don't be too sexy, you're going to call too much attention, or whatever, and you receive these things, the cervix is usually the primary place where women are going to store this unresolved, undigested emotion, thoughts, beliefs. Let's call it beliefs, the negative beliefs. So they're stored in that cervix. They can also be stored in the vagina itself, the deep vagina, the G-spot, and the vaginal opening, and like I said, between the hips, anywhere in the pelvic region. So if you have any pain or discomfort in and around these areas, you are welcome to start this journey with me today. I'll get into that more in a little bit here. So the cervix is a place where you've received these negative messages, and now they need to lodge somewhere. Like I said, the cervix is usually the place they're going to get stuck, because it is a doorway, the in and the out. And like I said in the beginning, you came into this life knowing your innocence, knowing your magnificence, knowing you are a sexual, emotional, mental, and spiritual being. So you knew all these things. And over time, it sort of got large, and you got pushed around, and you took on these belief systems and attitudes, and I shouldn't be too expressive, and I should probably hide my boobs from the world. And so all of that is actually in disharmony with your true being, with who you truly are, with who you knew yourself to be before all of that conditioning came to you. So that's important to know. So you have inside of yourself a core being that totally knows this stuff, And then you have this outer part of your shell, yourself that is like a shell, like a turtle shell, that has taken on all these beliefs. So I want you to imagine that. Inside you have this pure, pristine core center that you know yourself, and you know your righteousness to pleasure, and you know you came here to love and express yourself and love yourself and therefore love another totally fully. And then you took on these messages and beliefs. So that is a disharmony. That creates a disharmony, which is tension and pain and discomfort. So your body is communicating to you, saying, listen to me. You're not being in harmony with yourself. You're not expressing yourself fully. I want you to listen. I want you to open me up. I have so many gifts for you. That's your womb speaking to you. You have so much untapped potential and energy and vitality that I'm just waiting to burst through your core and up your heart and into your brain. And the negative beliefs are creating an interference. This is good news, actually. This video is great news for you because it means you can bring your awareness back home to your body, and you can bring your loving attention to heal yourself from the inside out. So now that you have awareness around knowing that you have power in your hands to make huge changes that can ripple out into your whole life. Because when you overcome your sexual blocks and you really let go of these negative attitudes and beliefs around your sexuality, your whole life will begin to change. So I'm really excited to share this message with you. So how? Now that you understand and you have the knowledge and awareness, how can you actually create the change that you want? It's very simple, actually. Just like when you have shoulder tension and you want someone to give you a massage, it's the same goes for the vagina and the cervix. You need to go there and press and hold to release it. So there is something called de-armoring. Perhaps it's called de-armoring the vagina or de-armoring the yoni. Basically de-armoring that shell of interference in order for you to release it and come back to your true self. So I made a video here to give you some tips on de-armoring. So I hope you take a look at that. So you can do this process yourself. You can also find an experienced tantric practitioner to walk you through it. So lastly, I want to say, this is the most important work there is to do. Your body deserves your attention. So I want you to walk away remembering 3 things. Firstly, you are totally innocent, pure, and perfect at your core. Secondly, you have taken on negative sexual beliefs around your body, around how to express yourself sexually, that are lodged around your sex center, that are definitely holding you back in your life. And thirdly, when you choose to embark on this journey of de-armoring, releasing the tension with pure presence and love, you will not be the same woman you are today. You will step it up a notch. You will truly shine into your confidence and magnificence, and you will be inspired to go out there and change the world. I hope you share this video because women need to know about this. Help our sacred sisters transform their bodies so we can all be uplifting each other together. And also share below if you've had any journeys of de-armoring or yoni massages. Share what's worked for you. Give us some tips. And don't forget to check out the video I have on de-armoring as well. If this is your first time here, welcome. And I would love for you to subscribe and get my juicy videos about how to deeply love yourself and have amazing relationships that will transform you and the world around you. So thank you so much for watching, and let's all come home. What's the word? Got goosebumps.